we all know that these AOs are around. So we know, how about this 66, 166,
That
166.
is kind of crazy.
Anyway,
If you want to be a pro, don't even try to like make the sex work for you. Just try to get a match in the line right there. You're good. You're good to go. What's going on, everybody? It's Childish. We're back at it again with the next episode of Educate and Dominate, the one-on-one interview series where we take some of the top names of the game and get their insights so we can bring your game to the next level. I am super excited to make this video because this is going to be the first time that we have DJP on the channel. If you guys are not familiar, he is the 2018 Europe Cup Champion. My man, DJP, how's it going? How you doing, bud?
what's up? So I'm good. Yeah, good. Happy to be here.
Yeah, that's
Very
it's all.
excited about this interview.
It's a pleasure to have you here, my man. We got so much things to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. But for those that haven't got a chance to check out the SWC 2018, I still encourage you to go up there either on twitch.tv slash USA, or you can go to Summoners War Esports to go ahead and check out some of the replays there. It was super amazing to watch you play in the Europe Cups and, of course, leading
Thanks.
into the finalists. I'm really excited with what you brought to the table.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, it was really cool to meet a lot of people out there and play a lot of fun games. And yeah, obviously, it was also very excited to win.
Yeah, you did pretty good. I think out of all the contestants that won one, I think you were the one that had the most emotion
Yeah,
with that Europe's Cup champion. That was pretty cool. That was pretty
yeah.
cool.
No, I didn't try to express more or less than I had. It was, yeah, it was just all the emotion coming out.
Yeah.
I yeah, during the games, I also said it on stage. I had a heartbeat of over 120 just by sitting over there and
Right.
stressing about all these
Right.
games.
Right.
Yeah, it was super intense, and
Yeah.
it was just emotion getting out of the body.
No, yeah, it's a well deserved emotion. I don't blame you for that. So, but yeah, guys, we got so many things to talk about today. We're gonna be mixing up. We're obviously gonna get into some of the topic with the recent RTA tournament, the SWC 2018. We'll give you guys a little bit of background on DJP if this is the first time you've ever seen him on our channel. We're on a different channel as well, and then of course we're gonna be talking about something that I don't believe we've actually spoken of in the Educate and Dominate series. So we're gonna be talking about Guild Wars. We're going to be talking about RNG and how to make it work for you. Apparently, DJP has the formula for why we fail so much, right? It's not the RNG, it's more so what we're doing to not make it work for us. So I'm
Uh,
pretty
You're
I'm pretty curious to see what's going on there.
you're putting so much pressure on me. So, but let's try to make it work. I hope I can tell you guys about what I think of Guild Wars, and it's all. Yeah, let's discuss it later.
We'll discuss it later. All right. It sounds good.
Yeah.
So before we get into that, though, one of the things that I love to do for my guests that come on the channel for the first time is give a little bit of insight on who DGP is before he got involved in Summoners War. So tell us a little bit about your backstory and then how you found your way into the Summoners War game.
All right. So, well, before I started Summoning War, that's already a long time ago. But
Yeah.
I'm so my name is Daan. I'm 27 years old. I'm from the Netherlands, from a town called Leiden, and I studied psychology. I majored in social and organizational psychology, and after that, I started working, and I worked for about 4 years now, almost 4 years. Oh,
Okay.
time goes very fast. And I played Summoners War for so. I have been, well, after study and playing some Summoners War and doing some traveling before I started working and doing Summoners War at the same time. And right now I work as a HR data analyst at Rijkswaterstaat. Rijkswaterstaat is the company in the Netherlands that, we maintain the infrastructure, so the roads, the waterways, and I work in the human resource part of that company, and it's really cool.
So let's dive in. Okay, we're going to be talking about Guild War strategy and RNG. This is something that I don't even know how many times I've gone over in my head thinking I know exactly what I'm doing and I still get it wrong. Um, a lot of people come up to you and they just bring you this monster box. They bring you these teams and these units and they say, why isn't this working for me? I have XYZ units with XYZ runes. What's going on? Tell us a little bit about DJP.
Yeah, so there's a way to approach Guild Wars. If you want to craft your defense, you want to add, as much of RNG as possible. Like we saw of these the Theomars, we all experienced that. Theomars going ham, going 2, 3, 4 procs, and you're like, oh man, I got outplayed so much. I got esported so much,
Esported.
and then yeah, and then it turns out defense was able to enable violent procs and RNG to come into play. Like if the defense is if you're able to Lucian the defense, then there is 0.0 RNG involved. No Lucian, just boom 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 and you're dead. But if your defense is able to survive an amp or like a copper or a dozer, those kind of zero RNG comps, then there's always gonna be this possibility that even though you outpicked and you think like the odds of me losing it's like 10% or maybe 5% or something,
Mm-hmm.
but there is this 5%. And if you have a good RNG based defense, then this 5% can go up, to 30% or something. And if you have better runes than the offense player, it can even go up to higher than that. I want to talk about monsters that are bad in defense. For example, Feng Yan is always going to attack water. Water happens to have like a monster that doesn't care about armor break. For example, the Rena. That if you have a Feng Yan always attacking the Rena, then your offense is zero RNG in there. If you have only Xingzhe without another damage dealer in there, without a random armor breaker in there, for example Orion or Ritesh, then the Xingzhe is always going to attack the Rena, and you're going to have 0% of winning, even if your defense so much better runes. Doesn't matter. It's always gonna fail against someone that brings double fire and arena.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of the thinking process around building a defense. You need to exclude the offenses with that involve zero RNG, and then you add as much RNG as you can. You add the Ritesh, you add an Orion, you add the Iris, for example. You add a Jean into maximum resistance defense, and you just add RNG factors. Being resisting the most important armor break. Maybe you're gonna win because of that resistance.
And let me ask you this here, because one of the units that we use quite a bit in the meta, another win-based unit like Jinsei is CR. CR, obviously provides a decent amount of RNG for you. However, it's super counterable versus Arena, even though a lot of people are still using it. So what's your thought about CR on the Guild War defense? I mean, it is a strong unit, provides a lot for the kit for your team. Do you still use it, or would you recommend it?
Well, I think Sierra is, like you said, it's very easily to counter a Sierra. Like a Sierra always goes for water if there's no armor break on a wind monster. So there's not a lot of other options to go with Sierra. I think the only defense that's viable at the moment with Sierra is with a Bastet and an Iris, because you both bring an attack bar buffer, so you don't get Lucian. And you bring an RNG factor, and you bring random armor break with the Beset. So that kind of is the only difference that's viable at the moment with Sierra. Maybe with Gianna as well, but you just have to be able to bring Sierra and Gianna, and there's not a lot of people that can do that.
Yeah, I got a Gianna laying around. It's no big deal. I can do it.
Yeah.
Speaking of LD Nat 5s, a lot of times, in some of the higher rank guilds that are fortunate enough to have the unit that you have right here, Tian Lang, a lot of them stray away from certain LD Nat 5s because, they just appear super scary. But you, unlike most, actually do not believe that Tian Lang is as bad as, people generally put out there. And why is that?
Yes. So uh, there's also RNG in the Tianlang. It's the second skill. It's obviously the skill that we've seen stunning your own monsters. As you know, we all think, oh man, this dragon dance, it always stuns my entire team, even through whale shield. Like what is this? But look at the skill. It has 3 times. I think it's 30% chance to remove a beneficial attack.
Right.
Um, so if you bring a lot of beneficial attacks, then the odds of stripping the whale and also stunning through that is not that big. So, for example, people say Tianlang is a very good counter to a Bastet. I disagree with that. Definitely the third skill, you get attack bar and you have the attack bar buff from the Bastet, but still the attack bar buff from the Bastet is enough to make your other monsters go after the Tianlang. Um, and the Tianlang has both the shield, the attack buff, the wheel on your monster, and maybe a shield. So the odds of Tianlang stripping the wheel through these 4 buffs and stunning a monster, it's so low. That's the big difference between offense and defense. Like defense can and should rely on RNG, and offense should not rely on RNG.
Gotcha.
You can't afford to have it like rely on this RNG factor.
Right. And it goes down to once again, and this is something that we've all said to the community beforehand. Like, if you understand what you have to do for each specific team, obviously it's going to be catered to, what what you have, but make sure that you're prioritizing, those best runes on the best units so that you can make the best of it. I've seen too many times people in the community get frustrated with losing a fight that they thought they should have lost, but they're using their B tier or C tier type runes that on units that are like, oh, they're just kind of a fun toy, we'll play around with them. Well, you don't want to be taking toys up into a Guardian 3 guild, right? You want to bring your best options, and especially when we think about Guild Wars, we have the opportunity to use these units over and over again, unlike Siege, right? So if we make sure that they're high quality and we get those wins, we can use them for various things. Whereas once we lose a couple of matches, that can domino effect into a couple of losses for us if we don't have some other viable options here. Yeah, really good stuff.
I think it was also really cool. It was also really cool from the America's Cup, the Guild Wars, like the Guild War RTA Cup.
Yeah.
That there were so many more monsters involved. Like if there was a pick on one monster, you couldn't pick, another player couldn't pick it anymore. So you gotta adapt. You just gotta adapt.
Yep, that's actually for me, the Guild Arena battle is obviously like one of the more exciting things for me to watch because I get to see a little bit of diversity, and I got a chance to talk with a couple of the players there as well, and we're hoping to see some kind of changes to that mode, or that kind of that type, for the future RTA tournaments here, because honestly, team-based PvP is super unique, and at least for Summoner's War, it's been excelled in other aspects, other games out there. So I'm hoping that they bring it back with a couple of changes so we can even see that much more variety and diversity. And possibly, maybe DJP finds out that he can't use this perna all the time, so now he's gonna have to figure out a way how to make a I don't know, HP defense critical damage Chow with 100 speed or somewhere. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it comes down to. When we're forced to think outside the box, that's when some of the best minds out there in the game, figure out something they never thought they would, and all of a sudden we have a new meta, right? It's crazy.
That's where BT is. That's why he is such a good player, because he plays the Sean Hathor Ganymede. For like the Genny Hathor meta, it doesn't come from him, but the Genny Jean meta, it comes from him, and he's able to bring it before the other players even think about it. So he was able to do it in most of the season 6, and he was able to get legend through because of that strategy. And right now, if you go to season 7 RTA, then everyone brings the Jean,
Mm-hmm.
or like everyone, like a lot of people bring it right now, and that's where he is. That's why he's such a good player.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that he has the best runes of the entire world, but it's because he is thinking through new strategies all the time.
You got it by diversity. I mean, this even stems back to 2014, where we were talking to a variety of endgame players for Arena and why they have been successful. It's not because they have like, oh, the number 1, number 2 unit in the game. It's because they're doing something that people haven't seen before. They're mixing up their game. They're throwing them off guard. They're trapping them. They're catching them. It's really, really cool to see some variety in there. So hopefully that, like I said, that segues into more future RTA tournaments.
Yeah, and in Europe we have Chris. He's the theory crafting god of arena offenses, in my opinion. He has an offense for every single defense, and it's not only that, like, everyone brings the Pisama, Tiana, Zyros, Galleon offenses, and the Zyros, Pungbeik offenses, and we all know that these AOs are around. So we know, how about this 66, 166?
That is kind of crazy.
Anyway.
That is kind of crazy.
It's not that I just like the stats like this.
Yeah, that's what it comes down to. So for you guys out there, if you want to be a pro, don't even try to like make the sex work for you. Just try to get a match in the line right there. You're good. You're good to go.
So anyway, these offenses, arena offenses, are around, and if your defense is killable with these 2 offenses, then you're not gonna get high G3. And Chris is able to bring like 20 different AOs, and that's why every defense is a fast clear for him.
Yep.
And he doesn't really need to think about it too much during rush, because you don't have time for that.
Right.
So that Skatfidis in global did that in 2014-15, right? That's why he got so much legends. Because he knew the meta. He knew, and he made the meta as well, right?
He definitely mixed up his game quite a bit. It was fun to watch.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly, didn't Crystal Shizzle get legend this last week as well?
Yeah, he did. He did, definitely. I think it was his 23rd or 24th.
Yeah.
Legend.
Somewhere around there.
He's getting close to the 27.
There you go. Gotta have that meme hype, yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
So I got a fun game that I want to do for you at the end of this video here, but I wanted to know, is there any last words or last points of advice that you wanted to share to the community with regards to the Guild Wars and the RNG aspect?
If your offense is what's the word, susceptible for that? No, if you're gonna lose, if that happens, then your offense is probably not good. And if it violent procs like 4 times, then you're unlucky, and you just the odds of that happening and the amount of that happening is probably not that high. So don't feel too bad about it. Try to see it as possible, as positive as possible, and enjoy the Guild War content as much as possible, because it's good.
Yep, I can relate to that, because one of the things that I've constantly struggled with, even after talking with all of you amazing players out there in RTA, is I've constantly had that issue where I'm like going back and forth. I mean, I bounced between Conqueror. I went as low as Fighter 3 and got up as high as Conqueror 3. I cannot hold Conqueror 3 for more than a couple of matches, and it's just, even though RNG is RNG, like I still have a couple of issues that I still need to work out, and mine stems to rune prioritization. I just don't have the proper units on certain units that I generally have to be. I generally pick more often than not, considering what is meta. So until I can make those necessary changes, it's good. I'm going to be struggling with that. So one of the things that we're going to be doing moving forward here with the RTA players that we get a chance to connect with is we're gonna be going to the replay section. Okay,
Yeah.
so we're gonna test out the knowledge of the 1 HP Perna. Okay, the 1 HP King. We're gonna
Yeah.
see. Okay, we're gonna take 3 matches here.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to the best replays. We're gonna take 3 matches from the Guardian 2, Guardian 3 players here. We're gonna take a look at their picking their picks here. Think about maybe the strategies that they're trying to do, why they're doing it, and then tell me who you would ban on both sides. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna see if you get it right, and we're gonna do best of 3. And
Yeah.
basically, your goal right now is to get at least one because I think Qua missed every single one. He's 0 for 3. We need to see if we can
Oh
get
wow.
somebody.
Yeah.
We need to see if we can get somebody that's 3 for 3 here. Okay, so
All right. Let's see. I think the left player should ban the Bestad because Bestad is able to, you get the first turn on all your monsters, and maybe he's able to, snipe, for example, the Genny. No, for example, the three. Okay, let me put it like this. I think the right player should ban the Vanessa,
okay.
and try to go for first turn and a snipe, and the left player should ban the Bestad.
Yeah.
And I think the left players. So let's see.
So you think Bastet on the right, Vanessa on the left, and you think the left player wins?
Yeah.
Okay, this is it, man. This is your whole
Yeah.
YouTube career in a nutshell. You messed this up now.
Really? Uh-oh. Yeah, I'm very, very
Yeah. No,
nervous.
I actually I'm kind of excited to see how the rights have played out because I want to cleave a little bit more. I want to be aggressive a little bit more, but I get too scared about it. It's like you said, it's aggressive. It's like all in. Go big or go home here. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's see what happens here. Vanessa and Bastet.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, so close though.
Okay, but
He goes for a little bit similar. Like he says, I might. No, never mind.
Yeah.
He definitely doesn't go for something similar.
Yeah, but I mean,
Okay, so
that thought process you were talking
wait,
about.
he
1
didn't
HP
go
King?
for a second skill.
Was that 1
He
HP King?
didn't go for second skill. That's why.
That's the
Look
1
at
HP
this.
King. Look at that.
Yes, he's going for the trophy.
Yeah.
He's gonna steal it from me.
He knew that you're going to watch this clip right now,
Yeah.
and so that's why he went skill 1 versus skill 2. Okay.
300 HQ, IQ.
Oh man. And this is so crazy because this actually happened quite a bit at the America's Cup that we saw. We had a lot of players, after a couple of matches talking and being like, "Oh my
That
God,
was
look!"
a big rock.
Yeah, we had a lot of people talking about how many small mistakes were made, that cost a couple of matches here. And it's funny, just watching this on the side here now, how things can turn if you forget to do something here.
Yeah, I think this should be over.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's able to kill both of the fire monsters, but I think he could.
I think he could, but some of
Wait,
the times, some of the times or what was it called? Some of the times,
what? Wait, sorry. What? Why did he wake Perna if he goes for a Bastet afterwards?
I could not figure that out there as well. I was gonna try to skip on that.
That's a big Perna.
Yeah. Considering how strong Perna is, you would think he would have left that alone.
Yeah,
But
yeah, definitely. That was a misplay.
right. So
It-
go ahead.
oh yes, the Perna didn't have a tech buff, right? And he still went for. Ooh, Perna.
Yeah, I think.
Sorry, I get distracted often.
No, it's
Oh,
good. It's what happens when you watch gameplay here. So this is an
Yeah.
interesting scenario. Yeah, it looks like he
hey,
ended it here.
I almost got it right.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That was an
The
interesting
Vanessa
scenario.
and the other one. Sorry.
Going for Bastet versus Perna. Obviously, the elemental advantage is going to hurt a little bit. You don't want to deal with that, but sometimes we see more often than not people just going for the threats to take it out of the way. But he kind of went for a different strategy. He was focused on the Bastet and just using his crowd control from the Guinea Heifer. I think
Yeah.
his strategy was more related toward his team versus some other things that people would do if they had something else.
Yeah. And Genny Hathor, you cannot ever let that through. It's
Yeah.
just you're gonna lose.
Yeah, it's a hard one here. All right, let's take a look. It
Yeah.
looks like that same guy. Ooh, I see Skit over here. Let's go ahead and do Skit once.
Yeah.
He
Cool.
has a pretty fun thing. So break this one down because you're 0 for 1 right now.
Wow.
Okay, break
We
this
have
one
a
down.
Jean first pick.
Jean
We have
first
a
pick.
Jean first pick.
So meta.
That's nice. Yeah. Yeah. I think Ladler, he goes like the right player. He picked the Wusa, and that was a really good pick. Because the left player, he obviously doesn't have a strip, and he brought the Rika. So and the Jean, of course. So he kind of has to ban the Wusa,
Right.
but Skid already was able to, because he has a speed lead, Okeanos, Genny, Molong, he's probably able to, even though there's so much crowd control in the left player's team, he's able to reset and maybe stun already because he's gonna take first turn with those three monsters.
Gotcha.
Left player has to ban the Wusa. Whatever happens, he has to ban the Wusa.
Right.
And the Skid, I think he's going to ban the Triana. Yeah. And Skid wins.
Okay.
100%.
So let me ask you this, just to kind of get a little bit more into it. If you were Skit, you're probably getting the first turn here. Do you want to go maybe get lucky to try to reset Perna and work him down, or is there even a point because you have to deal with Triana?
Well, you ban Triana, so
oh yeah, you
you don't
banish
really
her.
have to deal with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think like Jean brings you have a provoke 2-turn, and because Molong has an armor break on his first skill, I don't think you have to be too scared of that. I think you can just go for the reset on Rika.
Okay.
Because if the Rika is able to through, then you're pretty sure that you could be really fucked.
Ooh, so you were right on the Wusa. He bans the Rika, so yeah, you kind of
1 out of 2 bans. I got them right.
Yeah, so you made a good point there, though. I mean, if the Rika gets through, like, it could be pretty devastating considering he doesn't have any kind of immunity, and obviously no sustain outside of Vanessa's passive here. So
yeah. Okay, so he went for a little bit more, in my opinion, risky tactic to, go for the. He kind of almost needed the strip Triana with Molong. Well, not needed, obviously, because his team was already so fast and so well speed tuned. But he could have lost if the Triana wouldn't have been stripped by the Molong. So that was a little bit of RNG that I think a player that has the runes of Skid quality should avoid. Just like we talked about before, if you are on offense, if you are, and also if you are a good player, don't bring too much RNG. If you're a weaker player, if you are on defense, bring as much RNG as possible.
That's a really good topic. That's actually something that I heard a lot with Thompson, who's obviously no surprise to you and everybody else in the community. Another one of the finalists in the America's Cup that also went down for the Guild Arena battle there.
It's really strong,
Apparently, you guys are in sync because you literally said the same message to me on both. If you're the underdog, you better be using RNG to get the best of your opponent here. So it's funny. All right, here.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna be seeing. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. If you're on defense, you're always if you're building a defense for Guild Wars or Arena, you're always the underdog.
Right.
Because the other player is the human brain.
Right. Good point.
All right.
So here we go. What do you think on these teams here? Who gets banned?
Let's see. So I like the Fran pick. It's really, really cool. So left team brings he brings a lot of crowd control, obviously, and he wants to get the first turn with the Tiana. So I think he is not too. Yeah. Okay. So the right player, I think he should ban the Perna and try to out sustain. I think that would be the thing. Like you have your Molong nuke, true, but yeah, yeah. You can survive this 1 or 2 turns of sleep, I think.
Yeah. I was gonna say his something seems a little bit off here. Bringing in, I mean, I know a lot of people do it, but Hathor combined with an Okeanos and a Molong here, I mean, it seems like you're losing a lot of value from having two units that AoE stun
Yeah,
versus a sleeper. So I think you're right on that
yeah,
Perna. Getting rid of that single
yeah,
target threat.
yeah, and the Okeanos probably has is faster and Molong as well. So it's not that big of a deal. Like you can go for the second skill and stun with the Molong before the Hathor does the third skill.
Right.
But oh yeah, but also you already have this strip in your Tiana, so you're kind of using uh, abilities that overlap or something. Like
Mm-hmm.
your monsters can't be that overloaded with skill set that you bring so much strip, you bring so much crowd control, but you're gonna lack some damage maybe.
Yeah.
The Tiana has to be on crit damage, or the Okeanos has to be on damage to have this composition work without the, I think. And the right composition, I'm not so sure about Laika Theomars, but he probably has them very well ruined because he's yeah, pretty high in G2. I think the left player should ban. Um, let's say Triana. Yeah, I think Triana. Triana is such a overloaded monster. She can do
She could do a lot.
Triana or Theomars, but Triana can do so much. She obviously provides some protection with a passive, but she also does quite some damage, especially with attack buff. Triana also already does so much with speed scaling and with some attack as well. I think it's really strong. So I think right player is gonna win, even though his picks are pretty strange, and I think left player is gonna win Triana.
Okay. Let's take a look here. Perna on the left, Triana on the right, and you say the right player wins.
Yeah.
All right. And they say, oh,
Oh
Triana's
wait.
he takes away Tiana.
So
Maybe he thought
he
that he was
brings.
gonna get the speed. Maybe he thought that he was gonna get like the first turn, so he's taken away.
Look at this. He banks on his RNG. He banks on his monsters resisting the Okeanos and the Molong strips, but there's it's not only the Molong strip, it's also the Hathor strip, and it's also the Okeanos strip. So I
Mm-hmm.
think it's risky to work to play like this.
Yeah, he's not wasting any time bringing in
But
that.
still,
Yeah,
yeah, I already friend, so
yeah. I think.
he's in a very bad position here.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say I think it was a good move on his part there, just taking away that immunity there, the heals. Might as well.
Yeah,
I think that's pretty much it right there. I don't think there's too much he could do outside
yeah,
that.
yeah. The friend is kind of doing nothing
Right.
right here. Yeah, so this is game over.
Shout out to Mordax for staying in the matcher. He thinks that Theomars he thinks that Theomars can proc like season one. It's not going to be able to. This
Yeah,
this ain't no 10k chow like Fwa did back at the Mobile Masters. We only get
yeah,
one proc. That's it. All right. Well,
yeah, yeah.
out of all three matches, you got one out of the two right. Right. So a little bit better than Hua did. It was.
I got two right.
I think you got one out of like you got like one side right, and then like the other side wrong or something like that. But you got them all. I
Yeah,
think,
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. That's true. Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't get a perfect score in any game.
Right. But it's all good. We'll have to, like I said, whenever we do the next one, we'll have to bring it back and see if we can improve that
Yeah.
score. Okay. So.
Let's be arrogant and say they misplayed, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. It wasn't us, that's for sure. But that's gonna be it for the video, guys. Thank you all so much for your support, DJP. If you want to go ahead and give a shout out to anybody you want right now, please feel free to do so.
So I want to give a shout out to my guild because it's such a cool guild, Squad Zero. We are a Guild War and an RTA guild mostly, and I also want to give a shout out to Parting because he brings a lot of fun in the EU server. And thank you very much for letting me have this this moment with you and being able to share some of my ideas on the game.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that.
When it's about RNG, it's an easy decision. We got to get you on the channel here. When we talk about RNG, we got to let them know. So now for the viewers that are watching this on YouTube, we have connected with a couple of more players from the SWC 2018. I believe we're going to be checking in with Thompson. I believe he is actually going to be connecting with White Cuz. He might be coming on over to LTA in a couple of weeks. And in addition to that, I did talk with Shen, who's super busy right now with his schedule in school. But he's going to play catch up, and then we're going to be trying to make a video, I think, in a couple of months here. But outside of those people, if you had somebody that you wanted to recommend, maybe that hasn't been on the channel, but you feel like has a lot of knowledge in the game and could provide a lot of insight to the community, who would that be and why?
Oh, that's I think. Chris the Shizzle, in my opinion, is well, I already talked about him, but
yeah,
if we talk about Arena, like what Catfish brought to Reddit like 2-3 years ago,
yeah,
I think Chris has the same kind of knowledge, and he could bring quite some good insights in the game.
Okay, sounds good. So
Yeah.
we'll go ahead and see if we can connect with Crystal Shijo. Bring you guys a little bit of Arena, mix it up since we've been doing RTA for a couple of videos. This one we did Guild Wars, and then of course, for those future ones we do some Arena here. So, but yeah, guys, that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for your support. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care.